Hey everybody, just want to make a little rant slash review video of the park I go to on a regular basis. Usually come here in the mornings, cook my breakfast, see other people here doing the same thing, cooking breakfast, and then we go on about our day, wherever we're going, whatever we're doing. It's a good looking park. I've been coming here since I was, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old with my grandma. Bolsa Grande High School's right over there. Atlantis Park's right over there. There's my dog. What's up, buddy? How you doing, poopers? Gonna stretch? Stretch! Dog park's right over there. New rec building's over there. Not really new anymore, but whatever. The park employees, the guys that take care of this park here, very antisocial. They do a so-so job, but the way they go about doing their job is pretty fucked up, in my opinion. Whenever anything, they put these things out here to be used. The park is meant to be used, but whenever anybody uses anything, if it happens to break down, they just leave it that way for a long time and don't repair it. What I've been witness to is this area here, when people rent it out for parties or whatever, they always leave it a complete mess. It's a disaster by the time a party's done. They hardly ever clean up after themselves completely, if at all. And what the park employees like to do, just, I don't know why, maybe they're just assholes, but they like to blame it all on the homeless. Whenever there's a mess over there, whenever the sink is clogged, it's always the homeless fault, you know. So they'll just leave the sink, they'll fix it, and they'll leave it turned off. Over there in the rec center building on the backside where the restrooms are, same thing there. If the toilet happens to clog or something, which is next to impossible to do because just the way that they're made, industrial toilets like they have in jails and prisons, there's a sink on the backside of it. Ever since they built the building, the sink worked for about 2 weeks and hasn't been on since. And that's where you come out of the restroom, wash your hands, whatever. And so it's kind of a sanitary thing. It's a good idea to have that sink there. And it was cool to see when they made the building. But that was only operational for about 2 weeks, something like that. And it's been years now. You still can't wash your hands when you come out of the restroom there, if you're going to the dog park or just using the rec center or whatever. Now over here in the gondola, whatever the hell you call that over there, covered area, patio covered area? I don't know what the hell it's called. Right there, right now you got a bunch of shithead, gangbanger, wannabe fucking pussies. The ones that tag up everything in the park, you know, with spray paint markers, whatever. Those are the ones that really do all the fucking damage around here. Yet park employees like to blame everything on the homeless. You know, this, like I said, this shit was put here to be used, and when it's used, they fucking make it so you can't use it anymore for a while, just to be fucking assholes about it. They're like, for another example, there was a park bench right here, and myself and a couple other guys, we'd come here and put our stuff up, make our breakfast. Sometimes we would show up in the evenings and we'd use the bench and make dinner, you know. Put our little portable gas cookers out like this, whatever, make our dinner, clean up after we're done, and go on about our way. Well, somebody was actually using the park bench, so they took it away. They pushed it way over there, and I took the time and I pushed it way back over here one day. It was a fucking pain in the ass to get it over here. And the next day it was gone. Now it's nowhere to be seen. Oh, wait, no, there it is, over there. Way over there again. And nobody uses it over there. I've never seen anybody sit at that damn thing way over there. Here, all kinds of people used it. And I'd never seen a mess. I'd never shown up here and seen a mess anywhere near that bench. So it's just a lot of fucking bullshit going on by the fucking park employees. Being assholes, fucking taking shit away that's actually being used. And of course they like to blame it all on the homeless. And that's not been what I've witnessed over the years. You know, what I've witnessed is the people that reserve the covered areas for events. get-togethers, birthdays, quinceañeras, whatever. All of the above. Those are the ones that leave the big fucking messes, and yet the blame gets shifted over to homeless people. Now, I live in my van. I'm a van dweller. I don't consider myself homeless because this is my home. I don't have to be here. I don't have to live in my van, but I choose to because I'm not married. I have no kids. I don't have to provide anything for anybody but myself and my dog, and I don't like paying rent. Rent here in Orange County is a fucking joke. You can pay $600 to $800 for a room for rent with a restroom. Well, $600 you got a shared restroom. Is very common around here. Room rentals go as high as $1,200, $1,300 in Orange County. That's very, very common. You used to be able to rent a room around here for $350, $300, no problem. Now $600 is the average. And the other thing about renting rooms around here is things always change. I got tired of moving all the time, every 3 months or whatever. My landlord would get married and the new wife's not cool with it. Shit like that. So, I moved into a van. This is the third or fourth van I've lived in. Been doing it for years. Don't bother me a bit. But what does bother me about it is people treating me like I'm homeless. I was homeless. I was on the street for years after splitting up with my wife. She was cheating on me about the entire 5 years we were married. And I walked out of the house, took my dog, not this one, a different dog, and a backpack full of clothes, and walked to Garden Grove from Irvine. Took a day and a half. Didn't take any money out of the bank account. Just my dog and my backpack, because I had stepkids as well. And was on the street for years. So going from being on the street to living in a van was a major step up for me. I see on YouTube that a lot of people have... You want to go back in? Go ahead, lazy boy. Don't take your blanket with you. It's a mess in there. A lot of people have trouble transitioning to the van life. Well, that's because they're used to living in a house that's made of sticks and bricks. Now I'm getting off subject here. The whole point of this video is the bias and prejudice that goes on here in the park and the shitty jobs that they do maintaining it. And it's a shame. This shit was installed to be used, and then once it's used, they turn it off or make it so it can't be used anymore, and then just blame the homeless so they can keep doing what they're doing with their job. And that's a bunch of shit. It's crap. I see that a lot in cities, different cities in different areas of the city, how the homeless get blamed for pretty much everything. Yes, they are responsible for being messy. Most homeless people are fucking messy. They do leave messes behind, but that just makes them the perfect scapegoat for everything, pretty much. I'll be the first to say that, with my experience and being on the street myself, that a lot of the people that are homeless in this area fucking deserve to be. There's a lot of shitheads out here that are homeless, that will lie, cheat, and steal to get whatever they want, whenever they want it. And those type of people should be on the street. They should die out here on the street too, because they'll never change. They only get worse in time. And fuck them. But there are some people that are on the street that just because of financial reasons that don't really deserve to be out here. And those are the people that suffer because of the shitheads. There's a lot of homeless people out there that give every homeless person a bad reputation right off the bat, just because of the way they operate. Collecting too much garbage, just shit they pull out of the trash, just stuff that's not fucking worth anything. And they collect it, and they collect it, and they collect it. And then it gets to a point where they got so much fucking shit that they're dragging around with them in 5 or 6 or 7 different shopping carts that it's a fucking nuisance to people. And that's understandable. Usually the people that do that are the ones that have a mental illness. The fucking assholes that will lie, cheat, and steal to get whatever they want whenever they want it don't usually collect shit because they're too busy fucking selling it to get their fucking drugs. Um, so yeah, you got a couple different types of homeless people out here, and the fucking assholes ruin it for everybody else. Um, and it's a normal thing, but it's fucked up that most people are without question willing to believe that the crazy homeless person did something bad, you know. Um, and you flip that on the flip side of that, if they hear that the crazy homeless person did something good, they will have a hard time with it and will question it. Like, what? Really? Nah. But if it's something bad, without question, they just believe it. And that's a fucking fucked up thing that we human beings do. And yeah, I would say that's one of the worst things about being homeless and on the street and being able to get off the street. You got a lot working against you, you know. Um, but I must say, being on the street, some of the things that you have to be afraid of, my experience, most of the people that you need to be afraid of weren't other homeless people. Most of the people that stole from me, did things to me, were people that had houses, had places to live. Um, Predators, really. Oh, and not to mention the Garden Grove Police Department. They're great. You know, when I was on the street, I was arrested twice for things I didn't do. 3 different charges. Things that I didn't do, wasn't considering doing, hadn't even thought of at the time, but got arrested because an officer was having a bad day. And that's an extremely, extremely fucked up thing, because once that happens, it really strips you, and putting it into words doesn't do it justice, but it strips you of your personal security. You know, it takes the whole saying of don't do anything wrong and you have nothing to worry about, which is fucking great in theory, but in real life, it takes that, you know, throws it on the ground, stomps on it a few times, and pisses all over it, and destroys it for you. You know, once you've been arrested for something that you weren't doing or considering or thinking of or whatever, it changes your perception of the world, it changes your perception of the police, it changes your perception of your own personal security, your well-being. It affects everything. Now, whenever I see a police officer, to this day, I still get nervous, even though I'm not doing anything wrong, because it doesn't matter whether you're really doing anything wrong or not. If the cop's an asshole, or if he's having a bad day and he's an asshole, you're going to fucking go to jail. And police don't seem to understand why they have a bad rap. They always just want to say, oh, well, with any group or organization, there's always a few bad apples, blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, there are. But that's not the biggest problem that people have with the police department nowadays. In my opinion, the biggest fucking problem with the police department nowadays is whenever you have any type of interaction with them, what are they doing? Oh, we're just having a friendly conversation. Bullshit. What they're doing is they're looking for a fucking reason to lock you up. Any reason whatsoever to throw you in jail, they'll fucking throw you in jail. You know, they say the same thing. Don't do anything wrong, you got nothing to worry about. No. Bullshit. You got nothing to fucking worry about. Their whole thing is, all they're doing is out there during their day, is they're looking for people to throw in jail. You know? And if they can trick you into telling on yourself, or if they can dig through your shit without any reason whatsoever, they're going to do whatever they fucking have to do what they want. And that's just to put everybody in jail. Feed the system. And that's why people don't like the fucking police. That and the abuses that happen here and there. You know, it's wrong. It's just fucking wrong. You know, the whole to serve and protect is just a fucking facade. That's all it is. There are good officers out there. Well, I'll give you an example. I rarely have police contact. You know, in like, I would say the last 5 or 6 years living in my van, I've had police contact maybe 3 times. The third time was just the other day, as a matter of fact. I was in Midway City, which is unincorporated, and I parked on the street, which I parked on many, many times over the years, and hopped out with my dog. We went for a walk, walked down the street, crossed over, was walking back to go around the block, and an Orange County Sheriff's vehicle parked at an angle behind my vehicle, blocking traffic, with his lights on, and he's standing behind the door with his gun pointed at the back of my van, yelling at the van. So I'm on the opposite side of the street, and I'm all, hey, there's nobody in there. What the hell are you doing? He's all, and how would you know? Well, because I own the thing. That's how I know. And he starts asking me questions. Well, do you live around here? I tell him, no, I live in my van. I don't have a wife or a kid. I got nobody I need to provide for except my dog. And this is how I choose to live. And he asked me, are you on probation or parole? And I said, no, I'm not. I'm not, you know. And he goes, well, you got an ID. I said, really? You're going to jack me up right now for no reason whatsoever and violate my rights just because that's what you want to do? And he's all, no, that's okay. Never mind then. And I said, thank you. You know, you have a nice night. Be safe. And turned around and kept going on about my walk. But he sat there behind my van for another 45 minutes. So that was a night where it was like, didn't sleep very well. Waiting for him to come back, because sleeping in your vehicle would have given him a legitimate reason to jack me up, pull me out of my van, search my van, do whatever the fuck he wanted, tear it up, make it a big mess like it already is now, make it even worse. So I got like 2 hours of sleep that night. He never came back, thank God. But that's probably because, well, that wasn't how our interaction went word for word. I was very firm, but friendly and polite at the same time, and I basically put him in his place and let him know that what he was doing wasn't cool, and it's not the way it was supposed to be done. And he conceded that, which was amazing. I was surprised that it went down that way. If you were to try that in Garden Grove, they'd have you on the ground with their fucking foot on the back of your neck, just for standing up for your rights. So that could have been a lot worse. It worked out okay the other night, but it just goes to show you that the habits that the officers develop from the training that they get, if they're not a really good person in general, they're gonna fuck with you and they're gonna fucking wreck your whole world. If they are a good person, then if you put it to them in the right way, they'll concede and let you go on about your day, you know. He had no reason to ask me for ID because I'd done nothing wrong. Nobody had called or complained. I'd just gotten there. So why did he do it? Out of habit. And because he was trained that way. The wrong way. The reason the police departments are the way they are these days is because the way they were trained, and then they develop bad habits on top of that, and majority abuse their power. That's been my experience. I have had a lot more experience than your average person when it comes to dealing with police, so I would know. So anybody that wants to tell me don't do anything wrong and you got nothing to worry about, you're a fucking idiot. You don't know what you're talking about, so just stop talking. Bye.